Yes, that was me, people. On September 11th, 2001, I was working as an EMT at the Plainfield, New Jersey Rescue Squad, and we were just dropping off a patient in the ER when a nurse runs in from the waiting room and screams out, "A plane just hit one of the towers." So we rushed over to the waiting room, and you can see that the tower was smoking. Uh, Many planes fly in the area, so we didn't really think it was anything big. Could have been a small plane or a helicopter, which always fly in the area. So we went out on our next call, and when we came back, that same nurse runs back into the emergency room saying another plane just hit the other tower. So we rushed back into the waiting room again, and now they have the playback footage, because this one was caught on the news, of the plane hitting the tower. So we're like, oh, we're just like dropping curses words and everything. And I looked at my partner, I said, we're gonna get called for this. And he looks at me, he's like, you think? I was like, we're getting called for this. I just thought of the mass scale of it. And sure enough, one of the nurses comes, she's like, the red phone for you guys. So I picked it up and I answered it, and they were like, you're being requested to New York City, by New York City. So we gathered as many people as we could, as many ambulances as we can afford to take out of town, and as much equipment, and we broke out towards New York City. They routed us to Staten Island at first. They sent us over to the Staten Island ferry, where ferries were still coming in with people that were in Lower Manhattan. And if you're familiar with the area, you know how close the Staten Island ferry is to the World Trade Center. So we treated one patient there. And then from there, that patient left, refused any more treatment. We then got routed over to my hometown, Jersey City, because I worked in Plainfield, but I'm from Jersey City. So they sent us over to Jersey City and treated one more patient there at the waterfront. We were there throughout most of the night. And then I wound up going over by ferry or tugboat. It was one of the two. We went over to drop some stuff off in the middle of the night over there, some supplies, and they were not letting any more responders into the site. So they held us back till the morning. So I went back in the morning, and that picture you saw was a bit after one of my dad's friends pulled me over before I caught the boat over to New York City. And he comes to me, he goes, "Joe's gone." And I'm like, "Joe's gone?" I'm like, "What do you mean Joe's gone?" He's like, "Joe's gone." I'm like, "Where did he go?" Because at this point I had no idea what he was talking about. And he said, "Joe went over to New York City yesterday and he didn't make it back." I dropped down to my knees at that point. Joe was one of my dad's best friends. My dad was a firefighter for Jersey City, and he was killed in a line of duty when I was a kid. And Joe looked out after me. I basically knew Joe all my life. And it hit me very, very hard. I then caught the boat ride over to the World Trade Center site and commenced a week-long search and rescue operation. I did about 6 days there. It was 6 days. From Tuesday to that Sunday, I was doing stuff over for the whole 9/11 search and rescue. And it was crazy. It was just one of the most surreal moments of my life. When, you're seeing pieces of planes. I'm standing next to landing gear. You would never know how big landing gear is until you're actually standing next to it. Suitcases, all the debris from the offices. I never would have imagined the scale of that ever in my life. Like, being from the area, how many times I used to visit the World Trade Center site as a kid, I never would have thought that I would have been standing there on the rubble of it. I remember standing at the bottom of both towers and looking up, and you would get dizzy just looking up, trying to look at the top of the towers from the bottom. If anybody was from the area, and you would remember that. But yeah, that's pretty much my story from 9/11. There's so much that I can say. I just want to say, just don't ever forget. Joe, we love you. We miss you. Be safe, everyone.